Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Gibran here from Realco Capital. I hope you're doing well this evening. And so today, in today's video, we want to talk about the three major economic trends which will shape, the global markets over the next, year and a half, right? So these are the three major trends that obviously people are talking about. There's oil prices and commodity prices are still elevated and could continue to rise as well. Interest rates are being increased to tame inflation, and the dollar is also rising as well, which is not usually a good thing for emerging markets. So these are the major trends that people are looking at and talking about. And so from what we want to do in this video is look at these trends from a real estate perspective, and specifically like how Dubai's previous market cycles have done in the face of these kind of changes that we've seen previously, right? So nothing of this is new. There's always these cycles, and so it's always good to kind of get some perspective and understand the markets a bit better. So the first thing I want to point out is, of course, the economic machine is quite complex and vast, and there's thousands of moving parts. So just because we see one trend doesn't mean it repeats exactly the same way, right? But what you will do is you'll see patterns, and of course there's a lot of logic to it, so let's look at that in more detail. So the first thing we'll do is we'll look at previous bull markets that we've seen in Dubai. Over the past 20-25 years, we've seen four major bull markets where markets have performed exceptionally well. And the first one we can say is 2007 to 2008, where the market turned into a bubble. It was a bit of the Wild West, and then we had a crash during the global recession, and then the consolidation phase from 2009 to 2011. And then again, the market started rebounding, and then it was a major bull market from 2012 to 2014. It was helped along by the Arab Spring, Expo 2020 hype, and of course Dubai was transitioning into a more global city. And then from 2014 onwards up till 2020, the market was soft. It was still very expensive, still quite active, but prices started to soften. We saw capital depreciation as well, or capital declines, except for a period in 2017 when we saw a spike because the dollar was weakening, oil prices were high, and so that year was quite strong as well. And so now recently we're in this bull market, which started in 2021. It's accelerated over the past 60-90 days. And for most analysts who've been watching this market for long periods of time, they're calling this a more broad-based expansion. And Dubai is definitely now considered to be amongst the top tier cities in the world, right? And so, if we're looking at these economic indicators, the first thing to, of course, note is the Fed just raised interest rates by 50 basis points. And just a few hours later, the UAE followed suit. Because of the peg, they do follow it. And so if we're looking at UAE interest rates right now, it's reached 2.25%. So it's up 50 basis points from 60 days ago. And so you can see in this cycle, it's tightening much faster. That is to tame inflation. Because of the peg, the UAE central bank will do what the Fed does, right? And so they'll move in tandem. And so the last cycle that we saw from 2016 up to 2019, that happened over a period of time. But this one is going to be much more faster, right? And so the mentality of buyers across the world right now, because we know interest rates are going to go up at least under 1% in the next 90 days, right? Because that's what the Fed told us yesterday. And so the mentality of buyers will obviously be to purchase before that happens, right? So that's obviously going to drive real estate markets, and that's why real estate markets continue to do very well in the world. If you're looking at other economic indicators, obviously oil prices are elevated, and they will continue to be elevated through 2022, according to most experts. Oil prices are high, more money is coming into the economy. So if you look at previous cycles, like this is 2006 to 2008, this is 2012 to 2014, this is the spike in 2017, and this is the market we're in right now. So you can see one thing they have in common is elevated or rapidly rising oil prices, right? And so even the spike we saw in 2017, it was the same thing in 2014. 2012 to 2014, oil prices were elevated, and of course they're elevated right now as well, and they will continue to be so because of the genuine supply side shock that we're experiencing. And so that is a major trend, but the reverse is also there. Of course, we're seeing a rising dollar, and it's at a very fast pace, and we haven't seen the dollar at this level for quite some time. Now, the rising dollar has negative impacts across the world economy, but it does affect some countries more than others, right? So of course, with the UAE being pegged to the dollar, there are some advantages. There's currency stability, there's less inflation because imports, you have purchasing power, but at the same time Dubai is starting to become more expensive. And that's what happens when the dollar gets stronger. We're seeing the dollar rising, but we're not seeing a slowdown in demand, and that is because there are a lot of other factors in play. So it's very interesting to look at these markets from a historical perspective and see what the markets are doing at each and every point in time. If you'd like to get access to these charts, you can actually join our mailing list, and we can share that over to you. And if you'd like to get in touch with us about the market in general and just have a chat, please don't hesitate to contact us. Our number's here on the screen. I've left this screenshot here from DXB Interact, which is which is a really good property website you should visit for really good information. And so this is just to give you some ideas. This is what the market looks like right now, in terms of prices per square foot. Obviously, it's a broad-based market, so these averages don't mean that much. But when you're looking at statistics, the last time the market was at this kind of level was 2014, and so we haven't broken rapidly past those 2014 levels. For most property types, we're almost at the same exact levels we were back in the previous cycle, right? So unlike a lot of real estate markets around the world, which are exceptionally heated, the Dubai market is generating headlines, but the reality for most property segments is the market's stable. Yes, there's loads of transactions. Yes, there's capital growth as well, but the market's chugging along pretty well. And it is because of all that supply that was previously built that Dubai is now being able to absorb people in this kind of number, and that affordability is there, and so those people can come in, start contributing to the economy, and Dubai continues to grow. So there's lots to love about what's happening in Dubai and this country and the region, and but obviously the economic indicators are out there. These are volatile times, everyone knows about it, so it's good to kind of get some perspective on it. And if you think videos like this add some value to you, please do consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and if you'd like to get in touch with us about anything, we would love to hear from you. Our numbers here on the screen. Thank you very much for watching this video, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.